Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
All right, we only have one for you in Weird and Wacky, and it's an interesting one. The article title is, I accidentally discovered my identical twin on TikTok. So this TikTok creator had gotten on TikTok to kind of express herself and was, growing her audience. And then one of her friends was like, hey, you should look at this other TikToker. They look exactly like you. And at first she was kind of annoyed. She's like, what do you mean they look exactly like me? And then she looked and she's like, no, she looks exactly like me. Anyway, goes to find out that, talks to her mother and finds out that not only was she a twin, she was actually a triplet and was separated from her other sisters at birth, and they were adopted out. And now the two of the three have found each other, and they still create content on TikTok, and their audiences have grown collaboratively since then. And they're still looking for the third sister. So it's kind of like a happy, sad story. Cause they found each other and that's awesome. Still looking for the third sister. That's kind of sad. So
I'm like, how have they not found the third sister yet with all the news around this? Like,
well, I thought
armies of bored internet people would go and find this person for them.
Well,
right?
I think they both seem pretty young, like social media users. So it's entirely possible that their sister is not active on any social media platform.
Could be
at this point. Cause they look like teenagers to me. So it's like, maybe they're not really on any social platform yet. So I don't know. But it's interesting. It's kind of a neat sort of found my sister. They lived about 1,000 miles apart, got together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
and they didn't specify, and we're assuming they're identical triplet sisters, which
I assume, based on the fact they look the same. Yeah.
Pretty unusual, right? To have
rare,
triplet identical anythings, right?
Like I believe so.
I don't know that I've ever met identical triplets.
I have not.
Twins, identical twins. Yeah.
I have seen some identical triplets on TikTok. It's a guy. They're all guys. And they like to mess with people. So like they'll all wear the same outfit. And if somebody's like walking down a very long hallway, like the first one will go and like almost bump into the person walking down the hall and be like, oh, excuse me. And then like 50 yards later, the next one will bump into him and be like, oh, excuse me. And then 50 yards later, the third one will bump into him and like just totally freak that person out. Like there's a glitch in the matrix kind of thing. So I do. I've seen TikTokers that are identical twin triplets, but it is rare, I think. So there you go.